Hi, welcome to Samdana Yoga. This is Melody White, and this is Master Class 168. In Samdana Yoga, we strive to open the body both from an energetic standpoint and an anatomical standpoint. This class in particular is a class designed for directional opening, meaning if we begin to attend to the right side or open to the right side, we continue that opening. And if we do it to the left, then we continue it to the left. And we deepen this through postures that we take, this feeling of opening to one side or the other. This class is designed to clean out the sushumna channel, which is the channel where our energy systems are stored. And it's like spring cleaning for our energy systems. We're getting out the gunk and getting rid of it, and we'll do some energetic aspects to do that. It also is one designed to strengthen the central meridian as we draw up through center each time in this cleansing process for the sushumna channel. So we'll both clean out the sushumna channel and strengthen central meridian in this class. We'll begin class in child's pose. And for about a minute, just take time to be. Resting your forehead on the earth, your hips to your heels, and just being. Allowing an opportunity for you to draw internal towards self, the divine self. Begin your Ujjayi breathing here. Begin to notice your breath. Let that breath take you home. Inhales through the nose and exhales out through the nose. Taking in what you need and releasing what you don't. Letting this breath be what tethers you to the present moment and what links body and soul. You're connecting with spirit. Take 3 more deep, purposeful breaths here. We'll start our movement with hip circles. So on an inhale, lean into the left or right hip, pull up and around towards tabletop, not defining it. Let the exhale take you into the other hip. And then sink down towards child's, not defining it. The inhale takes you up and around these hip circles in this one particular direction. Take 3 or 4 hip circles in one direction before swinging like a pendulum and taking it in the other direction. When you've found balance to both sides, we'll meet back in child's pose. From child's pose, on an inhale, come up to hands and knees, tabletop position. And as you exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, round the spine, and come into cat. On an inhale, draw the heart forward, roll the shoulders back, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take a few more with your breath. And the next inhale that you take, pull yourself out to just a neutral spine. And as you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale lifts you to toes. Exhale drops the left heel, bend the right knee. Inhale, lift to toes. Exhale, right heel down, left knee bends. Inhale, lift to toes. Exhale, left heel down, right knee bends. Inhale, lift to toes. Exhale, right heel down, left knee bends. Continue in this fashion with your breath, or any fashion that suits you. You have about 6 or 8 breaths here. Last couple of breaths here. So find balance to your down dog. Come to a center down dog, maybe lift your toes. On an exhale, drop the heels. And then on an inhale, lift your right leg up to sky 3-point. As you exhale, bend the heel to the buttocks. Inhale, straighten 3-point. Exhale, pull in for cheetah, knee to forehead. Inhale, 3-point. Exhale, right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Taking a twist to the right, bend the left knee, left hand down. On an inhale, take your right hand forward and up for a twist to the right. Next, exhale brings the right hand back to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up to sky, and as you exhale, let the left hand take hold of the right wrist. Reach and extend through the right fingertips. And as you exhale, take the fingertips over to the left for a right side body stretch. You can stay here and breathe, or on your next exhale, drop your left hand towards the earth. On your inhale, turn your right palm up. Reach up through the right palm. Press away with the left. On an inhale, left hand meets right. And as you exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up to sky. Exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back. You're in a runner's lunge. On an inhale, lift your right leg up for 3-point. As you exhale, pull out to high plank, placing the right foot beside the left. Next inhale, push it back, down dog. Exhale, pull forward, plank, and go ahead and lower all the way down. Inhale into cobra, up dog. Hold here for about 3 breaths. Next, exhale, returns the heart down. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, drop the heels as you choose. 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, lifts the left leg up to sky. As you exhale, take the left heel to the buttocks. Inhale, 3-point, left leg lifts. Exhale, cheetah, knee to forehead. Inhale, 3-point. Exhale, left foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take it a twist to the left, bend the right knee, right hand down. On an inhale, reach the left fingertips forward and up like the rising of the sun. Next, exhale, returns the left hand to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, and as you exhale, right hand takes hold of left wrist. Reach and extend the left fingertips up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, take the fingertips over to the right for a left side body stretch. And you can stay here, or on your next exhale, drop your right hand towards the earth, and on an inhale, lift your left palm up towards the sky. Reach up through the left palm. Press away with the right. Next inhale takes the right hand up to meet the left. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. You're in a runner's lunge. On an inhale, lift your left leg up 3-point. As you exhale, pull out to high plank. Next inhale, push back, down dog. Exhale, pull out, high plank. Lower all the way down and inhale into cobra or up dog. And hold and breathe here. Next exhale, returns the heart towards the earth. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale, lifts the toes. Exhale, drop the heels as you choose. 1 or 2 more breaths. Coming to a center down dog. On an inhale, the right leg reaches up to sky. As you exhale, right foot steps between the hands, runner's lunge. Spin the back heel down. On an inhale, cartwheel open, warrior 2. Hold here for 5 breaths. Equal reach with the fingertips, shoulders over hips. Next, inhale, straight leg reverse, right fingertips reach, right leg straightens. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, runner's lunge. Inhale, lift the right leg up 3-point. Exhale, pull out to plank, dropping right foot beside left. Next inhale, push back, down dog. Exhale, pull forward and lower all the way down. And inhale into cobra, up dog, and hold here for about 3 breaths. Next exhale, returns the heart to the earth. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, drops the heels as you choose. Next inhale, lifts the left leg up to sky. Exhale, the heel to the buttocks. Stay here or flip your dog. So we're working on on an opening to the left. The Vera 2 open to the left, and now the flip dog opens to the left. Push through your feet in your flip dog. Square your hips towards the sky. Now on an inhale, take that left hand directed towards the sky. And as you exhale, flip back over to 3-point, left leg lifted. Inhale here. Exhale, pull in for chi dog, knee into the chest. Inhale, 3-point. Exhale, left foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. The left foot steps back, you're in a runner's lunge. Spin your back heel down. Get your block handy if you need it. We're moving into triangle, but we're going to set up our base first. So we're going to push off the earth as we reach forward and up into that triangle. So on an inhale, right leg straightens as the left hand reaches forward and up as you move into triangle pose. And we're here in triangle for several breaths. You have about 3 more breaths here in triangle pose. We're going to release triangle through runner's lunge to splits prep. So take an inhale through the left hand, and then as you exhale, let that right knee bend and pivot onto the ball of the back foot. You're in a runner's lunge. Drop down to the back knee, fold back to splits prep. Now on an inhale, just pull yourself forward into a low lunge. You're on that back knee. You're bending in the front knee. Exhale, push back, splits prep. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Exhale, push back, splits prep. Inhale, come forward into that low lunge. Now, exhale here, untuck the toes, and on an inhale, lift up for modified crescent lunge. Fingertips reach the sky, so that back knee, left knee is still down. And our hands are lifted in a modified crescent lunge. Take an inhale as you reach through your fingertips, and as you exhale, bring your hands into prayer behind the head. Lifting on the inhales, elbows up to the sky, pressing down through the shins in opposition, allowing the shoulders and heart to open. You're here for about 3 more breaths. Next inhale directs the hands back up to sky. Now as you exhale, take the hands on either side of that front foot, push back to splits prep. Inhale into that low lunge. Exhale, splits prep. Inhale into that low lunge. Exhale, splits prep. Now inhale into the low lunge. As you exhale, take the back toes, come off the back knee. You're in a runner's lunge. Next inhale, standing splits. Then as you exhale, let the left heel come towards the buttocks. You can take hold of the top of the foot if you'd like, or you can just let the heel fold to the buttocks. That's what I did here. But you're here for about 3 more breaths, heel to buttocks in a standing split. Next inhale, straightens that left leg. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise that fingertips, reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. So we've been having a directional opening to the left. We're moving into a dancer, and you can take any kind of dancer you want here. You don't have to take an energetic move. You can take regular dancer. You can square the hips or let them open. You can take a splits dancer. But the one I'm going to share is an energetic move. So I'm going to explain it and then we'll move into it. So one of the things we'll do in this dancer is to take hold of the top of the left foot first. So don't go there yet. Let's just explain it. We're going to take hold of the left foot. And so the left heel will be to the buttocks, just like we were in that standing split format. And then on an exhale, we'll start to tilt. And then on an inhale, you'll take your right hand and draw it from underneath your belly, up forward. So up the middle of the body, you'll draw it from underneath the belly, up the middle of the body, up the throat, and forward from the face. You won't touch the face. You'll just come up off the underside of the body. And you'll reach forward in your dancer that way if you want that energetic aspect. Again, take what you want. I'll direct it this in the energetics aspect. So bending slightly in that right knee, standing on the right leg. On an exhale, bring your left heel to your buttocks. Take hold of the top of the foot. Take another inhale here. Then on an exhale, start to tilt forward into that dancer and bring that right hand underneath your low belly and towards your pubic bone. Now on an inhale, start to draw that hand up the body and off the face and reach it forward and hold in your dancer. We drew the line up the sushumna channel, up central meridian. We're holding here in dancer about 3 more breaths. Now on an inhale, tilt the body up, right hand's reaching to sky, and as you exhale, release that left foot to the floor. Inhale, left hand meets right. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hand to heart center. And then on an inhale, reach the hands back up to sky, and as you exhale, take the hands away from the body, palms facing to the earth, moving into upward momentum breath. Inhale, hands up through center. Exhale, hands away. Inhale, reach up through center. And on an exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step that left foot back, you're in a runner's lunge. On an inhale, lift that right leg up to sky. As you exhale, pull forward into that plank position, stepping the right foot beside the left. Next inhale, push you back, down dog. Exhale, moves you forward into that plank. Lower down through your vinyasa, and we'll meet in down dog. Pedal out the feet as it suits you, or not. We'll take that same sequence to the other side. On an inhale, the left leg reaches up to 3-point. As you exhale, left foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Spin the back heel down and cartwheel open to warrior 2, and hold and breathe here for about 5 breaths. Once again, equal reach in the fingertips, shoulders over hips. Next inhale, straight leg reverse, left fingertips reach, left leg straightens. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, you're in a runner's lunge. Inhale, left leg lifts up to sky, 3-point. Exhale, pull forward into plank, placing the left foot beside the right. Next inhale, push back, down dog. Exhale, pull forward, plank and lower down, and into cobra or up dog. And hold and breathe here for a couple of breaths. Next exhale, returns the heart down to the earth, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, drops the heels as you choose. 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, takes the right leg up to sky. Exhale the heel to the buttocks. Stay here or flip your dog. Once you've flipped your dog, hips are squaring towards the sky. For me, I like to, you might reach back with that right hand. But on your next inhale, let your right hand reach up to sky. And as you exhale, flip it back over. That right leg's lifted, 3-point in a down dog. Exhale, pull into chi dog, knee into the chest. Inhale, 3-point. Exhale, right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands reach back up. Exhale, bow to the earth, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back and spin your back heel down. We're moving into triangle from the floor, so find your footing. Take your block behind that left ankle if you like. And then we're going to push off the earth and reach to the sky, coming into triangle. So on an inhale, push off that left leg, reach forward with the right hand, rotate open, triangle pose. Hold and breathe here. We're here for about 8 breaths. Hips are stacking, shoulders are stacking. That left toe pushes into the earth and encourages that belly engagement here. Now we're going to be releasing this into runner's lunge to splits prep. So take an inhale through the right hand, and as you exhale, bend the left knee, come in and pivot onto the ball. The back foot coming into runner's lunge, drop the back knee down to the earth and push back to splits prep. On an inhale, move forward into that low lunge, so right knee still down. Exhale, push back, splits prep, left leg is straight. Inhale, pull forward, lunge. Exhale, push back, splits prep. Inhale, pull forward into that lunge. Now exhale here, untucking the back toes and keeping the back knee down. Next inhale takes the fingertips to the sky. You're in a modified crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, bring the hands into prayer behind the head. And the inhales lift up through the elbows and press away with that right shin into the earth for opposition. Breathe here for a few more breaths. Next inhale takes the hands back to sky, and as you exhale, take the hands on either side of that front foot and push back to splits prep. Inhale into that lunge forward. Exhale, splits prep. Inhale forward. Exhale, splits prep. Now inhale forward, exhale, tuck the back toes, come off the back knee. You're in a runner's lunge. Next inhale is standing split, right leg reaching to sky. And then as you exhale, bring that right heel to the buttocks. So you're in a standing split with the right knee bent. You can take hold of the top of the foot, or you can just let it rest here. It's about 3 more breaths. And then on an inhale, let that right leg reach back up to sky, and as you exhale, return the right foot beside the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. And then we're moving into that dancer. You choose the kind you want. We've already kind of gone over the energetic aspect, which is the one I'm going to be guiding, but you do what you want. So we're going to bring it, standing on that left leg, bring a slight bend in the left knee so we establish a relationship with the earth. On your exhale, bring your right heel up to your buttocks and take hold of the top of the right foot. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, tilt the body forward, and then bring the left hand underneath the belly, and on an inhale, draw that hand forward up the torso, off the front of the face, and reach into your dancer. And hold and breathe here. 3 or 4 more breaths. Reach in opposition, so left fingertips reach, you kick back into the right hand. Now on an inhale, tilt yourself up, and as you exhale, release the right foot to the earth, and on an inhale, tilt the right hand to the sky. Exhale out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up, and as you exhale, fingertips reach away from the body, palms facing the earth, and on the inhale, fingertips drive up through center, and as you exhale, hands away. It's upward pranic momentum breath. Inhale up through center, and exhale, bow it forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. From this forward fold, walk the feet out a little bit and turn the heels in and sit down into malasana, Hindi squat, but with the heart down and hands in front of you on the floor. And then we're just going to, with the heart down and gazes down, we're just going to rock a little bit back and forth in the malasana. Just letting that feel good on the lumbar spine. Letting the hips open. It's a real relaxed malasana. Last couple of breaths. Then let your hips start to grow heavy, and then we're going to let our bottom come down to the floor, and we're going to roll back and forth on our mat 3 or 4 times. This strengthens the radiant circuits of the body. We're going to rock back and forth and back and forth. And then we're going to rock our way up to seated. We're moving into half virasana. So we're going to extend the left leg and fold the right foot, fold the right leg. So folding at the knee, which is the only place we really can fold, we'll place that top of the right foot on the earth if possible, and that heel is by the buttocks. Now if the foot won't do this, the right foot won't do that, it can turn out. It just makes the internal rotation a little bit deeper. And then as it suits you, we're going to come into a reclined position. So if you need a bolster behind you, you can put that behind you, or a block, or maybe come all the way down to the floor for half virasana and breathe here. You have about 3 more deep breaths here. Enjoying this opening from that right knee to the left shoulder, just to gently across the whole trunk side of the body, the whole trunk of the body. You can release this however you want. Some people form their way back up to a seated position, or you can just roll onto your left hip, release your right foot, and roll back and forth up to seated. Either way, we'll make our way up to seated, and we'll take it to the other side. So we'll extend the right leg, and we'll fold that left leg, bringing that left foot by the buttocks, top of the foot on the earth if possible. If not, turn it out. That left foot or left heel's by the butt. And then go ahead and make your way into a reclined position of your choosing. And we'll breathe here about 8 breaths. Last few breaths. And once again, you can release this just by rolling onto your right hip and releasing your left foot and just be on your back because we're moving into bridge. Or you can forearm your way up, release that foot as you need to, and rock back and forth a couple of times to lying on your back. We're moving into bridge posture here. So feet or ankles are underneath the knees, and the knees are up towards the sky, and the feet are about hip distance apart, and the gaze stays towards the ceiling to protect the cervical spine. On an exhale, lengthen your tailbone, and on an inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. And breathe here, maybe clasp the hands underneath you, tuck the shoulders more deeply underneath you, and breathe Ujjayi breath here in bridge posture. You're here for about a minute. About 4 more breaths. On your next exhale, go ahead and release any clasp, any bind, and lower the spine down to the mat. Try to avoid pulling the knees into the chest or releasing this. We have an option to move into wheel, full wheel. So you can either come into another bridge. If you don't want any more back extension, you can bring your feet together, knees out wide while we go through this other part. But it's an option for 2 more back extensions here. So moving an option into full wheel a couple of times, or staying in a bridge, or being in reclined goddess. So if you want full wheel, bring the fingertips up by the shoulders with the palms on the earth. Feet are hip distance apart again, and ankles underneath the knees. Lengthen the tailbone forward, and then on an inhale, lift the hips up. Press off the feet to extend into that heart opening. So we want to straighten our arms as best we can in this wheel option. And then breathe victorious breath through the trunk of the body. Feel the breath travel through and make expansions in the front side of the body. You have about 4 more deep breaths in wheel. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower this down to the earth, but avoid hugging the knees into the chest. If you need some kind of release, take the feet out a little wider than hip distance and drop the knees in towards one another. This keeps that low back where we kind of want to keep it for the back extension. Helps maintain that soft C curve when we come up. So you might still be in a bridge, and you can hold and release to goddess, or you can come into your wheel here, or you can take another wheel. If you're in goddess, we'll meet you there shortly. So coming back into wheel again if you like. Once again, fingertips by the shoulders, palms into the earth. Lengthen the tailbone. On an inhale, lift the hips. Push off the feet to press into the heart, to open it, to straighten the shoulders. Breathe here about 5 more deep breaths. Breathe through the trunk. Feel it move energy around. This underside part of the belly or the body is a vulnerable part. It's a part sometimes we keep curved over. So we want to expand this. Breathe into it. Take 2 more deep breaths. Keep pushing off the earth with those feet. Pressing that heart forward towards the back wall. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower the hips down, back onto the floor. And bring your feet together, knees out wide for reclined goddess. Now once you're in reclined goddess, so feet together, knees out wide, it's like reclined butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to take a few cleansing breaths here. So big inhales through the nose, exhales out through the mouth. Inhale through nose, exhale out through mouth. Inhale through nose, exhale out through mouth. We're just releasing, letting go. And then opportunity for pranic building breath. So once you've had a few cleansing breaths, we'll move into pranic building breath, which is taking the breath in the body and holding it as long as we can. Let prana seek release, and as it does, nourish the cells in the body. And then when we let it go, it's with a big sigh or a big whatever comes out, but not afraid to just let it go. So take an inhale and keep inhaling and keep inhaling. Maybe wiggle the shoulders around, take more breath in. Take as much breath as you can in the body, and then hold this breath. Hold it as if like you were underwater. When you need to release it, release, big sigh. Let it go. Take one more of these if you like, or just rest here in Goddess. You have about a minute left, so take a cleansing breath, or just a pranic building breath, or just rest in Goddess. If you take the pranic building breath, then after you finish, just join us in the resting pose of reclined Goddess. And then hugging the knees into the chest, we'll take a spinal twist in either direction that suits you first. So knees either over to the left and gazes over towards the right hand with right palm on the earth and right shoulder pressing into the earth, or take it to the other side, but we will do both sides. So take a few breaths in a spinal twist in one direction. And then on the inhale, bring the knees up to center and take it on the exhale into the other direction. Gaze is in the opposite of the knees. On the inhale, pull the knees into the chest, and as you exhale, begin to rock the body forward and back, forward and back. 3 or 4 roll backs. And then we're going to eventually make our way up to rolling up into Hindi squat malasana at the top of the mat, and this time with the heart lifted. So hands are at heart center, triceps are opening the hips, we're pressing off of the feet, we're using the triceps to open hips, and we're breathing here in this beautiful Hindi squat, which is moving us towards the hip opening section that we're moving into next. So take about 3 more deep breaths here. Now on the inhale, expand, lift heart. And as you exhale, return the hands to the earth, toes face forward, push off the feet, forward fold, lift the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. From forward fold, step the left foot back. You're in a runner's lunge. Spin the back heel down, and on an inhale, cartwheel open to warrior 2. Hold here for about 3 breaths. Feel the strength of your warrior 2 and the openness of your heart. Inhale, straight leg reverse, right fingertips reach, right leg straightens. And then as you exhale, sink into modified side angle or full side angle. We're here for about 6 or 8 breaths. You have an option here for a half bind if you like. Last couple of breaths. On an inhale, let your left hand, if it's bound, either way, let your left hand reach up to sky. And as you exhale, let the left hand sweep the earth as you pivot a quarter turn towards the left. You're in a wide leg fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Pivot a quarter turn towards the left. You're in a runner's lunge facing the back of your mat. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach back up to sky. Exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then we'll take that sequence to the other side. So let the right foot step back, spin the back heel down, and on an inhale, cartwheel open to a warrior two. So left leg is forward in a warrior two, and you have about 3 breaths here. Once again, feel the strength of this warrior two, the expansion of the heart and lungs that support this after having taken our bridge and wheels. Inhale, straight leg reverse, left fingertips reach, left leg straight, and exhale, sink into modified side angle or full side angle. You're here for about 6 or 8 breaths, or option to take a half bind with that right arm reaching around to the inside of the left thigh. Last couple of breaths. If you're bound, begin to release. On an inhale, lift your right hand up to sky. And as you exhale, let the right hand sweep the earth and pivot a quarter turn towards the right. You're in a wide leg fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then we're moving into goddess pose. So you can choose how to come up from the floor. If you want a little bit of core engagement, you can just press through your through your insteps and arms out to a T. On an inhale, come up. And then as you exhale, turn your heels in and sit down into goddess pose. Goddess arms, goddess legs. So toes are slightly turned out, or out as far as the hips are open, but equal weight in the feet. So we'll tend, if the hips are tight, to roll onto the inside of the foot. And if that's the case, like for me, I have to really work to press into the outer blade of my feet. You might have really open hips, and this is an easy pose, but we want to feel our legs and our connection from the hip down with the earth. Feel this grounding aspect. From the hip down, it's what we're connected to the earth through that sciatic nerve, which is our grounding wire. You have about 5-6 more breaths here in goddess pose. We'll come out of that goddess in 5 points at star. So on an inhale, start to straighten the legs, reach the arms up straight, turn the heels out level with the pinky toes. On an exhale, bow forward to that wide leg fold. Once you find it, halfway lift and fold, and breathe here a few breaths. Hands can be on the floor, or forearms on the floor, or on a block. Take about 3 or 4 more deep breaths here. And then wherever you are, releasing this halfway lift and fold. Pivot a quarter turn towards the right. You're facing the front of your mat again in a runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. From your forward fold, step your right foot back. You're in a runner's lunge. And then we'll take revolve side to angle. So on an inhale, pull your heart forward, and as you exhale, right hand comes down, and the next inhale, left hand reaches forward and up for a revolve side angle, and twist is to the left. Hold here for about 4 more deep breaths in this revolve side angle. And we're transitioning from revolve side angle to half moon. So take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, let the left hand come down, and on an inhale, step into that left leg and open up, right fingertips forward and up for half moon pose. Hold in this beautiful expanding pose. And then if you like, we're here for about 10 to 12 breaths in half moon. If you like a bind, bring the heel to the buttocks, take hold of that top of that right foot, and just open up in this half bow in half moon. Last couple of breaths. If you're in a bind, slowly release this back into regular half moon. Take an inhale, reach through the right hand, and as you exhale, let the right hand come down, level off the hips. You're in a grounded airplane. Inhale here, exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. We're moving into eagle, standing on the right leg. So let the right knee soften, and standing on that right foot, on an inhale, lift the left leg up and over. Exhaling here, next inhale, take the arms out to a T. And as you exhale, take the left elbow underneath the right and breathe in your eagle. Elbows as high as the shoulders. Once the elbows are as high as the shoulders, retract the shoulder blades back towards one another. You're here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Now, mindful anytime you come into eagle, you're working at strengthening the right and left hemispheres of the brain for working together in this crossover pattern. If you ever want the arms in a different way, you can take them in a different way, or even different elbow underneath the other. We're going to release this into upward pranic momentum breath. So on an inhale, lift the hands up to the sky, draw that right knee into the chest, and as you exhale, place the right foot beside the left, hands come down by the side bodies. Inhale, draw up through center, exhale, release out to the sides. Inhale, draw up through center, exhale, release. Inhale, draw up through center, and exhale, bow, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. You're in a runner's lunge. Pivot a quarter turn towards the right. You're in a wide leg fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Pivot a quarter turn towards the right again. You're in the back of your mat in a runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow it forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And now we're going to take that same sequence to the other side. So let your left foot step back into a runner's lunge. Now on an inhale, pull your heart forward, and as you exhale, it's revolved side angle, left hand down. Next inhale takes the right hand forward and up for a twist to the right. Hold and breathe here. We're contracting the dantian, the lower abdomen, in this twist. Just from the twist, we're not literally trying to contract it. Last couple of breaths, and then we'll be transitioning into half moon. We'll do this through the breath. So on an inhale, reach through your right hand, and as you exhale, bring that right hand down. On your next inhale, step into that right leg and lift the left fingertips forward and up for a rotational opening to half moon. So you're in half moon, standing on the right leg. We're here for about 10 or 12 breaths. If you want to take that half bow here, on an exhale, bring the left heel to the buttocks. Hold and breathe here. Last couple of breaths. So if you're in that bind, go ahead and release it. Take an inhale in your half moon, find expansion, and then as you exhale, let that left hand come down, level out the hips. Inhale here, grounded airplane. Exhale, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, fingertips reach the sky. And then exhale out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. We're going to take eagle, standing on the left leg this time. So soft bend in the left knee, left foot on the ground. On an inhale, lift that right leg up and over. Exhaling here. Next inhale, arms out to a T. And as you exhale, right elbow underneath left. Draw the elbows up as high as the shoulders and then retract the shoulder blades towards one another. Have about 5 or 6 breaths here. And then on an inhale, lift this up, hands up to sky, right knee into the chest. And as you exhale, hands come down by the body, right foot by the left. Inhale, reach up through the center of the body, fingertips to sky. Exhale, hands away from you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands out to the side. Inhale, drive up through center. Exhale, bow, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. You're in a runner's lunge. Pivot a quarter towards the left. You're in a wide leg fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And you're holding here in this wide leg fold for about 10, 12 breaths. So just enjoy this yummy time. Hands can reach forward, or they can stay right underneath you, or forearms on the ground, or forearms on a block. Whatever suits your body. Last couple of breaths here. And then go ahead and make your way to hands underneath the shoulders, halfway lift and fold. Pivot a quarter turn towards the left. You're facing the front of your mat. You're in a runner's lunge. Inhale, grounded airplane, back leg lifts. Exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up to sky, and then exhale, bow it forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. From your forward fold, ideally jump back, but if not, step back to high plank. Take an inhale in your high plank and exhale lower for the first of 3 chaturanga push-ups. The inhale returns you to plank, exhale lower. Take a couple more, and then we'll end up lowering all the way to the floor for a shoulder opener. Once you make it down to the floor, you're in prone position, belly on the floor, or restorative prone, belly on the floor, or earth. On an inhale, extend your right hand straight out from your right shoulder. So it's towards the right side of the room. Make sure your wrist is as high as your shoulder. And roll onto your right side body and bring your left foot onto the floor. If you like, your feet can step up side by side. If you like, you can cross the legs, kind of mimicking those eagle legs on the floor here. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then on your next exhale, release this back into prone position, restorative prone on the earth. And on an inhale, extend your left hand straight out from your left shoulder to the left side of the room, left wrist as high as the shoulder. And on an exhale, roll onto left side body, right foot onto the floor. Hold and breathe here. Your feet can step together, and once again, your legs can cross if you like. And it doesn't, so whatever leg crossing that suits you. On your next exhale, release this, roll onto your belly. You're in a restorative prone position. Take about 3 deep breaths here, just with the forehead on the earth. The arms are out to a T or cactus arms. And then we're moving into locust. So bring your chin to the floor and bring your hands down by your side bodies with the palms towards the earth. On an inhale, extend through your toes and then pull your heart forward and lift heart and heel and breathe in full shalabhasana. Two more deep breaths here. On your exhale, release and lower. Come to resting on your left ear. Pick up the hips and gently rock them side to side, releasing the low back. And then chin back to center. We're moving into locust again. And you can take the same locust or you combine this with the hands clasped behind the back, zipping up the feet, the big toes together. On an inhale, reach through your toes, pull forward with your heart and lift. Heart and heel both up. And breathe here. Last 2 breaths. And then on the exhale, lower, release this, come to rest on the right ear, pick up the hips, gently rock them side to side. Then bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push back to Vajrasana, which is sitting on the heels at the back of the mat. We're going to take Kapalabhati breath a couple of times. For those of you who are familiar with it, you won't need the explanation of how to do that. But I do want to share with you a different way of releasing after Kapalabhati breath. So once you've finished pumping the belly and we've exhaled all the air out, most of the time when we inhale and come up, kneeling and take energy in, and then we hold it tongue to the roof of the mouth, we're not going to do that part. We're just going to Kapalabhati breath, release all the air, and then when we come up to kneeling, we're going to take both hands from the bottom of the torso and start drawing them up one after the other to try to take out that energy out of that sushumna channel. So we'll do the Kapalabhati breath. It helps activate stuff there, and then we're going to start drawing it out when we come up to kneeling. So we would take our hands down at the bottom of our torso, and we would start just pulling that energy up and over our head, just one hand after the other. Okay? So, if you're not familiar with Kapalabhati breath, let me share that with you. Kapalabhati breath is where we take an inhale and breath into about 2/3 of the maximum. And then we focus on the exhale, short, quick breaths out through nose or mouth. Ideally nose. And then the belly goes in on the exhales. So we focus only on the exhales. The inhale's passive and the belly goes in on the exhales. So if that happens that it's reversed for you, maybe put your hand on your belly if you're new to it. If it's reversed for you, then you'll want to push the breath out and restart it and try to get the belly going in on the exhales. So let's go ahead and take an inhale, and then either out through nose or mouth, begin to pump the belly with the breath. Short, quick breaths. You have about a minute. Now, last couple of quick breaths. Exhale all the air out of the belly. Push it out, push it out. Now, on an inhale, come up to kneeling and start drawing up through your torso, one hand after the other, pulling the energy out and then releasing it to the sides. Keep going over the torso. So as you come up through the torso and release it, one hand after the other, arms go out to the side. Keep taking it out, keep taking it out. And then eventually, it should feel like it's finishing. So take it out as much as you need. And then just fold over into child's pose for a breath or two. Now, you may not want to take it again. You may want to take it and not do that part of it. That's totally up to you. If you'd like Kapalabhati breath again, go ahead and sit back up on the heels. If you're pregnant, you want to avoid Kapalabhati breath. One time's not going to hurt you or the baby right now, but we don't want to continue that, and that's just something to know for future. If you're ready, we're going to go ahead and take an inhale, and then as you exhale, out through nose or mouth, preferably out through nose, pump the belly. With the exhales, drawing the belly in. You have about 8-10 more breaths here. Now on your next exhale, push it out, push it out, push it out. On an inhale, come up to kneeling, start drawing the hands up the torso, one after the other, release them out to the sides, and come back down to the bottom of the torso, draw up through center. Keep releasing this, keep releasing, keep pulling energy out. Flush out the sushumna channel and strengthen that central as you go up the center. And then when it feels like it's done, release over to child's pose just for a couple of breaths. Then go ahead and sit up on the heels for Vajrasana again. We're coming into camel pose. We're going to have camel pose twice. So know that we're going to go into it with the left hand reaching behind you, and then the right hand, both the opportunities to go into full camel. But after the camels, we'll have a chance to do that same thing. Pull up from the center of the body and release that energy out of the torso. Okay? So go ahead and come up to kneeling and place the hands on the hips behind you. Okay, so on the low back. Fingertips facing up. Palms on the base of the hips. Maybe take those thumbs and slide that sacrum down. It's not really, but it's just energetically. And then push through your shins and lift up through your heart. This is modified camel, and you can stay right here in modified. If you'd like half camel, on the exhale, bring your left hand to your left heel. On an inhale, take your right hand up to sky and reach. Now, you can stay right here in half camel or full camel. Exhale the right hand down to the right heel and breathe in this half or full camel or modified, whatever you've chosen. Push through your shins, lift up through your heart. This allows for a soft C curve. Breathe into the torso just like you did the wheels. Draw energy into that front side of the body. Now, when you're ready to release this, if you're in full camel, on an exhale, bring your right hand to your hip and then your left hand to your hip. So if you're full or half, right hand to the hip, then left hand, then we're meeting right here in modified, and just on an exhale, sink down to Vajrasana, heels on the hips. Now, next inhale, just come up to kneeling and start pulling that energy out of the sushumna channel and just releasing it. Pulling it up through center, one hand after the other, traveling up the center of the body and releasing the congested energy and strengthening central meridian. And when you've done this, after you've done this a few times, then just sit back into Vajrasana, or if you need to fold into child for a breath or two, but we're going into more back extension, so maybe not. Maybe just Vajrasana, but you choose what's right for you. So when you get through pulling that out, releasing it, maybe swipe your hands, shake it off, I'm ready to come back into camel again. So hopefully you've eventually made your way to Vajrasana. If not, go ahead and find your way to Vajrasana if you'd like camel, reaching from the other side first. So if you're in Vajrasana, on an inhale, come up to hands and knees. Then as you exhale, hands come to the low back, fingertips facing up, palms on the hips. And then take your thumbs, press the sacrum down and away, and lift up through your heart as you press down through your shins. This is modified camel. Breathe here if you choose. Or on an exhale, bring your right hand to your right heel, and on an inhale, lift your left hand up to the sky. And breathe here in half camel. If you want full camel, on an exhale, left hand comes towards the left heel. And then breathe here, regardless of which one you're in. Feel the torso with Ujjayi, victorious breath. Just feel it full of energy with your breath. Every exhale releases. Every inhale takes in more fresh life force. Now, when you're ready to release this, if you're in half or full, on an exhale, bring the left hand to the left hip, and then the right hand to the right hip. And then we're joining people in modified, and go ahead and sit back for Vajrasana just for a second. Rock the hips if you like. And then on an inhale, come back up to kneeling and draw that energy up the sushumna. So from the bottom all the way up, one hand following the other, and the palms are facing the front of the body, and you're drawing it up and away, and releasing this congested energy. And then you can choose whether you go into camel or whether you release into child or Vajrasana, but we do have an option after this to go into forearm balance into scorpion pose. So choose if you know you don't want an inversion or you don't want scorpion, you just want a headstand, you know you're not taking any more back extensions, then go ahead and maybe come into child and even rabbit if you like. For those of you wanting to move into forearm balance or an inversion, now would be the time. If again, if you're not taking if you're not moving into scorpion pose, which is forearm balance with the toes to the head, then it's okay to go ahead and take rabbit and then take your inversion. Those of you who want forearm balance to scorpion, now is your time. So choose which option is best for you: child, rabbit, and then an inversion, or just child, rabbit, sit on the heels for Vajrasana, or come into forearm balance for scorpion. You have about a minute here. So choose what's right for you. If you've chosen child to rabbit, no inversion, once you're done with your rabbit, you can release to child or just sit up on your heels, Vajrasana. You have about 15-20 more seconds here. So go ahead and come down from any inversion that you have. Take rabbit if you took scorpion. Take a few breaths here. And then we're just gonna, hopefully if you've made your way to Vajrasana, we're just gonna tuck our toes, lift our hips, and come into a forward fold at the back of our mat. We're in the back of our mat, in a back of your mat in a forward fold. Halfway lift and fold. And then we're going to take elephant here, just to release that everything out of the back. So elephant pose is a grounding pose. So take an inhale in a straight leg position, and as you exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, straighten legs. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Hands are grounded. Inhale, straighten legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Now exhale, bend, and slowly roll the spine all the way up, one vertebra at a time. As the head lifts, let the hands reach up to sky, and exhale out through nose or mouth, hands to heart center. And then we're moving into tree pose. We're going to take tree pose on both sides, ending in upward pranic momentum breath after each. So go ahead and standing on that left leg, come into the tree. Let your hands do what feels right to you. There is a sequel to this class. It's a basic class called Basic Class 6 if you're looking for it on the internet. That has a sequel aspect to this, continuation of strengthening and the central meridian and cleaning the sushumna. Not as strong as this one, just to follow up. But finding your tree, you're standing on your left leg. You have about 10-12 breaths here. And if for any reason your hand wants to travel up center, meaning maybe that right hand wants to travel up through the center of the body a couple of times and then meet and hands extended tree, take that. You have about 4 more breaths in tree pose. Now, when we release this tree, on an inhale, reach up to sky and pull your right knee into your chest. And as you exhale, just softly kick the right leg away, place it beside the left, bring the hands down by the sides, bodies. Inhale, drive up through center. Exhale, out through the mouth, hands to the sides. Inhale, drive up through center. Exhale, release. And then on this inhale, start to bring that left foot up where you want it to be for tree standing on the right leg. So that kind of travels that energy up, letting that left leg lift. And you find tree standing on the right leg. Take the arms that support you. And again, if your body wants to draw up through the center, maybe it's the right hand that's lifted and strong and the left hand draws up through center. Just maybe. And then eventually the left joins the right. And you have about 4 or 5 more breaths here. When you're ready to release, inhale, reach through your fingertips and draw your left knee into your chest. And as you exhale, click that left leg away to meet the right. Hands come down by the side. Inhale, draw up through center. Fingertips to sky. Exhale, hands away from the body, back by the sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release the breath in the hands. Now inhale, drive up through center, and exhale, bow forward, swan dive. Halfway lift and fold. You're in a forward fold at the back of your mat. And then go ahead and take the feet out wide and sit down once again into Hindi squat. Heart is lifted. Now you can stay in Hindi squat, or you can lift back up to a forward fold, keep the hips high, and come into a bakasana. And for those of you who like to take bakasana and lower, tucking chin to chest and rolling into Hindi squat at the front of your mat, you can do that and be in a Hindi squat at the top of your mat, and we'll be here at the back. So whatever suits your body to do, whether stay in malasana here or come into a bakasana and roll out into Hindi at the top. Again, only try this if you've done this before. You need to see this if you haven't, so that we're safe in doing it, because you never put your head on the floor, so there's no pressure on the neck in a roll. We have about 4 or 5 more breaths wherever you're choosing. You might want bakasana and then just forward fold back to Hindi at the back of your mat. Eventually we'll meet in a Hindi squat somewhere, forward or back of the mat. So making your way into that Hindi squat wherever it happened to end up, either at the front of the mat or the back of the mat, we're going to release this back to a, if you're at either way, into a forward fold. Now the strange thing is that this class ended for me here. And from that forward fold, I just rose up and hands to heart center, and took a bow and an offering of gratefulness to the universe and to God for this practice. So choose how you want to end this. I did it in finishing this way, and then a seated meditation. The sushumna channel should feel strong and open and lifted, and desire to stay lifted. If you want to close out your practice in a traditional way with shavasana, so maybe an option for meditation in siddhasana or sukhasana, or come onto your back and take, roll backs to plow, to shoulder stand, back to plow, to deaf man, maybe to happy baby, and then fish, and then shavasana. So choose that if you want a traditional closing. If you'd like to close with a seated meditation, choose that, or just a stand and an offering for the practice, or whatever it feels right to you. I appreciate the opportunity I've had to join in your yoga practice today. We rarely end practice in a standing position or in a position that's less traditional, but for some reason this is what felt right for this, so I'm going to honor what I received in this. I hope that I'll have an opportunity to practice with you again. Thank you so much for offering your spirit, energy, and most of all your heart. Namaste.